So Jeremy, uh, can you tell us what is culture and how does it show up in the workplace? And additionally, how does it impact us?
Sure. So, well, there's been a lot of different conceptions of culture or definitions, um, by various researchers in multiple disciplines. But I think sort of a general definition would be a set of norms and values, beliefs that tend to distinguish a certain group of people from another. At least it creates within group similarities, and it's sort of a distinguishing line between one group than another. And of course, every culture, especially or most cultures, especially large cultures, have multiple subcultures. Every group has multiple subgroups. Um, Organizations are, of course, its own sort of subgroup of a society, and so it is essentially a subculture of a larger culture. And I guess the question was, how does it impact organizations? How does culture? So the only thing I would say is when we have subcultures or subgroups, um, it's intuitive, and I think plenty of sort of research goes to show that the subcultures, subgroups are by default influenced by the larger culture and the larger group. So in some sense, an organization being a subgroup of a larger society is going to be influenced by some of the cultural distinguishing lines within that society. So whatever is going on in the society is probably going to trickle down into the organization on some level. Now, the interesting part about organizations is once you join an organization, you also create your own subculture. In other words, you also create some shared identity with the people that you're in the organization with, so that now you have dual identity. So someone who you might have seen out on the street and you say, oh, that's someone who's not part of my group, that's part of another group, or cultural or social category. Now all of a sudden you can say, oh, that person's actually part of my group. And so now you have these sort of shared identities, but also distinguishing identities. And that's the interesting part about organizations. And it has advantages and disadvantages for people in organizations, leading to some of these cross-cultural disputes that we're going to talk about.